So, as we all know, the latest addition to the Ferrari team is in the form of their new team principal, Fred Vasseur. Now, if I was to ask you what you thought the word Ferrari meant, many different answers may jump to mind, like dominant, fast, and unstoppable. However, Ferrari have not won any sort of championship since 2008, 15 years. And the main reason for this, in my opinion, is down to the poor management of the most iconic team in F1 history. And with the recent departure of Matteo Binotto, with another failed team principal at the helm of the prancing horse, it got me thinking of how Binotto's performance compared to his predecessors before him, going back to when Schumacher first joined the Scuderia back in 1996. And in this video I will rank them in what is my opinion on how they impacted Ferrari. Jean Todt was the one who actually brought Schumacher to Ferrari, and these two ended up having one of the best relationships in F1 history. And this was ultimately shown through 6 constructor titles and 5 driver titles, all going to Michael, of course. Todt was recruited in 1993 at the age of 47, and his challenge was to lead Ferrari back to success at a time when the team was experiencing some of the worst days in its history. The Scuderia had won no drivers' championships since 1979. In 1994, barely a year after Todt took up the challenge, Gerhard Berger won the German Grand Prix, Ferrari's first win in 4 years. At the end of the 1995 season, Todt asked the German double world champion Michael Schumacher to join the Scuderia, and I suppose the rest is history. And for obvious reasons, Jean Todt simply has to go straight into the S tier. One of the greatest team principals in Formula 1 history, and was probably more important in the Ferrari rebuild than Schumacher himself. His successor was Imola-born Stefano Domenicali, who was to take over for the 2008 season. The young Italian struck gold in his first season by winning the Constructors' title and only narrowly missing out on the Drivers' title through Felipe Massa. 2009 couldn't have been a worse season for him though, as with regulation changes, Ferrari were caught out due to the close battle at the end of the 2008 season, which meant less time was spent developing the 2009 car, achieving only 1 win through a graceful drive in Spa by Raikkonen. In 2010, Raikkonen left and was replaced by Alonso. 2010 was a much better season, with the Scuderia just missing out on both titles to Red Bull. 2012 was the only other competitive year for Ferrari under Domenicali, and that was because of some Fernando wonders with a somewhat mediocre piece of machinery, which he managed to nearly win the championship with. In April 2014, Domenicali resigned as Ferrari team principal, leaving the prancing horse scrambling for a replacement 3 races in. Domenicali had a very inconsistent time at Ferrari, however he did achieve some success in his tenure, which leads me to put him in the B tier. Now, 2014 was a big year for Formula 1, with big changes as the sport moved into its very first hybrid era. Ferrari took big hits firstly through their car performance, which was a shambles. Finally, to pour salt into the wound, Domenicali resigned and Ferrari had to find a quick replacement. And so they did through Marco Mattiacci. What seemed like a short-term replacement, with Ferrari just looking to get to the end of the 2014 season as soon as possible. To show how bad this season really was for Ferrari, it was their first winless season since 1992. A very forgettable team principal, although to be fair to him, I don't think anyone could have done much better in that 2014 season, but unfortunately he wasn't given any more time, as on November the 24th he departed the team along with Alonso. He never really got the chance to showcase what he could have done with more time. However, it was still a disastrous season, and it was him who soured relations with Alonso, which led him to leave. So it's a D for Mattiacci. Obviously, there was a big change needed at Ferrari now. Jean Todt had been 8 years out, and their decline has been quite disastrous. Now looking for a new driver and a new team principal to get them back to winning ways. The next man to take the reins was Maurizio Arrivabene, and with this appointment also came a new driver, one Sebastian Vettel. 2015 was a good comeback for Ferrari, jumping up to second and achieving 3 wins, all through their new star Vettel. The closest Ferrari and Vettel came to winning a title for the first time since 2008 was in 2017. A fierce battle between Vettel and then three-time world champion Lewis Hamilton as the two exchanged wins for the first half of the season, with Vettel going into that year's summer break on top of the standings. However, coming back from the break, Hamilton was on another level, winning the next three races, going top and never looked back after that. Vettel and Ferrari had another chance in 2018, with Vettel once again starting strong until a season-changing crash at Germany, which gave Hamilton a huge mental advantage, and the Brit went on to win his fifth world title. Maurizio Arrivabene's tenure came to an end in 2019, with him and Raikkonen both exiting simultaneously. With 4 seasons at the helm and no championship wins, unfortunately it's going to have to be a C for Maurizio. Now onto the man, the myth, the legend, the man who saw one of Ferrari's darkest years in the 21st century and bottled what could have been Ferrari's year in 2022. And of course, this man was Matteo Binotto, who was the man to lead Ferrari back to their golden days. His first season in 2019 was not a bad start by signing up-and-coming star of the sport Charles Leclerc. Although once again Mercedes dominated, Ferrari were still the second quickest car on the grid that year. However, 2020 was a bad turn for the prancing horse as they got lost in the midfield, becoming the 5th or 6th fastest car on the grid. Another season without a win, and Binotto's start at the helm wasn't looking great. 2021 was much improved as Ferrari saw their German hero leave and be replaced by Carlos Sainz, who actually beat Leclerc in 2021. Now, 2022, the season which summed up Binotto's spell as team boss absolutely perfectly. Ferrari had a title-winning car. Ferrari had a world-class driver capable of winning said title. Although Leclerc made some poor mistakes, the strategists at Ferrari must have been undercover Red Bull engineers. Honestly, some of the calls they made just absolutely mind-boggling. You at home could 100% make a better strategy than these clowns. After this disastrous performance, through constant poor decisions, Binotto left Ferrari for good. In my opinion, the worst candidate on this list, so he goes straight into the D tier. 2023 is yet another new dawn, with Ferrari now appointing Fred Vasseur, and all I'm going to say is we all know what happened the last time Ferrari hired a French team principal. So, in all seriousness, is this Ferrari's year?